It's brilliant.
That's really made me laugh.
It feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it, all that?
It does, and to be honest, I find it quite hard to watch because I don't know if it made a lot of sense then, but now it looks absolutely bonkers. It's like, what am I doing?
But
Makes no sense, doesn't
brilliantly
need to.
bonkers, though. It's brilliant. That's the kitchen disco I want to be at.
Oh, cheers. Well, everybody was welcome, and that was the thing about it. We'd go live at 6:30 on a Friday night. Everybody would come around, and the weird thing is, I would feel like people had really come over to my house. Strangest things.
Yeah.
Strange what your brain can do when you've got that community. And I suppose because it was live.
And it was such a weird period of time that those moments was huge to all of us, right? If you found your little...
Well, we hung on to
people,
things, didn't we?
Yeah,
we hung on to
definitely.
moments like that. I really want to know, though, when you did it, right?
Yes.
I was like, yeah. When you just stopped, did you all just go, right?
No, we were on a real
for a
high.
while. Did you stay there for the rest of the night?
Definitely on a high.
Yeah.
And I think, look, I didn't need a pandemic to know I love music and that it can make me feel better. But it really strengthened my relationship with singing and why it is that I do what I do. So when we went back to work and been able to do all the gigs and the festivals, I feel like I've been enjoying it more than ever. Like, I feel like I'm in the best terms with my day job I've ever been because I just get so much joy from it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really special.
That's so interesting, isn't it? Because so many different artists, musicians had all of that stripped away.
Yes.
You know, that industry was really impacted with obviously everything live stopping. So when everybody was back on the road and back on tour, I suppose you've got a new level of appreciation for what it is you do.
100%, and not just what I do, but all the people I work with, all the economy that comes out of all those gigs, all those venues, all those festivals, and just all the work, all the people doing all the things. I used to just think about, oh, I'm turning up, I'm doing this, and if my crew can't work with me, they'll be with someone else. And suddenly it was like, no, this is actually, we're all part of something.
Yeah.
And there's a community in that too. And I work with my husband, I work with my brother Jack is my drummer. So, you know, we're together, we're tight, we have these experiences, so being able to get back to it has been glorious.
And you're still going and you're evolving and you're changing and you're going to talk to us about what the next step is now. A bit of festive fun. What's going on there?
So halfway through the lockdown discos, we thought, Richard, my husband and I thought, if we could do this in front of real people when we're allowed to again, have a disco under one roof, it'd be really special. So we did our first kitchen disco tour last year in the UK. And it was magic and really moving. And so suddenly seeing the faces of all the people who'd been the other side of the screen for the lockdown ones, it's quite hard to articulate how special it was. And I thought, you know what I think is ripe when it comes to parties and discos is Christmas time.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, I had this idea, let's do a Christmas kitchen disco tour. And I've basically tried to pour into it as much Christmas as I think people can tolerate. So Christmas songs, but also party classics, my songs, festivity. I want people to feel like they step into the auditorium and they're inside a snow globe and they can just leave the outside world behind for a little minute and just have a really lovely time with us.
Unashamed Christmas stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
And you know, we all need that escapism. There's so much, you know, craziness happening in the world. And these moments of joy are really important, aren't they?
They are, and I think, you know, when I first started doing the lockdown discos, I thought, is this really odd thing to be doing juxtaposed to heavy news? But actually I've realised there's real validity in being able to do something silly and fun when your brain is preoccupied with a lot of heaviness a lot of the time.
Yes.
So just having that punctuation, and when you said, you know, when you stopped filming, did you all just kind of flop? I think that's what I realised, the tonic of, not just for me, but for the kids, of the punctuation of like, oh, our mum and dad are doing the music, we can just jump around. We all felt better afterwards. It's quite powerful, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
really
absolutely that. Now, we were talking about your boys earlier in the break, because your eldest is 19 now.
Yes.
And that must be a whole sort of... Is he involved in the kitchen disco?
You know what, when it comes to the touring, I don't take them on the road with me. They might pop out on stage when I do the Hammersmith Apollo, the Hammersmith Apollo on December the 5th, because that's the one near our home in London. So they might pop out for the end of that. But my eldest, he's just moved out, actually, and he's moved in with my mum 10 minutes away, so it's quite wholesome.
Yeah.
And
that's
of
a
course,
big step, though, isn't it? I can imagine.
Yeah.
This being my eldest is 10, and that feels like...
Also, what happens when they're 16 with boys and you ask them to dance with you in the kitchen, they do this, I'm not doing that, stupid. That's what they say. They don't. They get all serious, do they? No?
I'm going to fight their corner because I feel like I do have 5 boys, but I don't have like 5 of the same person. And some of them love music and love dancing, and others, you know, I've got one of mine who never wants to come to one of my gigs. He doesn't get gigs at all. Music is just like, huh. But the majority of them like dancing, actually. So I'm going to stick up for them with that.
Yeah, they just don't like dancing with their dad. That's the problem.
That's what
I don't understand why.
Maybe you should start taking this personally.
I do. I get it. I really. But 5 boys in the house, it's a lot, isn't it?
5 of anything, yes, it's a lot.
yes.
I mean, look, yes, it's a lot of headspace, but I really love the chaos of big family life, luckily. So I'm in with that a lot. I like the fact that there's always things happening. You know, you'll find, you know, one of the kids under the table, they've made a little den, someone else has run in with something else going on, another one's brought 4 mates over. I like all that energy, and it's such a good antidote to the daftness of my day job as well sometimes. They never ask me, like, oh, how did your gig go? They'll just tell me about their day, and I think I like all that.
But that's quite nice, that's quite nice. And for you, having such a busy house, I suppose these moments where you do get to go and do your own thing are like bliss, right?
So precious, yes,
and
definitely.
20 years you've been doing this for now, like, which is what...
long now, isn't it? It's actually a bit longer than
crazy.
that.
And we must say you haven't aged. I don't know how you've done that with
that's
5
generous.
children, but you have not aged.
Thank you.
Has your style of performing changed
Yes,
over the years?
massively. I was so inhibited when I started. I would never dance. I would stand really still. I found it really hard to talk to the audience. I would make silly jokes in between songs if... actually, maybe that bit hasn't changed. But now I can chat a lot more easily, and that's that lovely feeling of... I'm 44 now, and I really don't care what people think of my dancing. So I just twirl around. I don't really stop. Whenever I do the tour, I learn fun facts about the areas I go to. So I think the crowd must be like, we thought we came for music. They might come away with some trivia.
There you go.
Yeah. I just have a ball with it, really. I think it's... Live work is always my favourite. I really like it.
You can tell, watching those videos, you can tell.
You know, you're right. It's the greatest gift of getting older, is not worrying about what people think.
So
Just
nice.
being yourself and having a great time. It's so liberating and so much fun, isn't it?
I was never cool, and now I'm not chasing it.
I'm with you, girl.
Hey, I think you're cool now.
Well, good luck. This is amazing.
Thank you.
I'm all for things Christmas. So the fact that you're doing a Christmas tour is absolutely brilliant.
Bring it
Thank you
on.
very
Thanks so much. Good luck with everything.
Thank
Great
you.
talking to you. Good stuff.